Hi guys, how we doing? So the weather is not cooperating with me getting the outside stuff that I need to get done. So we're going to go ahead and knock this guy out real quick. This I actually picked up with the intention to restore for my granddaughter. It is the cutest thing. I cannot believe it still works. I have no idea how old it is, but it's definitely got some years on it. So, my granddaughter's first birthday is coming up, and I thought this would just be a really, really cute thing to do for her. So, it is going to get a full makeover. Be kind of neat if it stops just right for me there. Nope, and it's going to keep going, which is okay. That lets me get my paint mixed. So what we're going to do is, because she does seem to respond very, very well to blue, I am going to paint the bear itself a soft blue. And her bow and ruffle are going to be bright pink. This guy is going to be a very, very soft pink. And I think I'll probably do a soft blue for the nose and belly. So, it's a little bit different from what I normally do. And I am going to be going away from some of the things I normally do. Like, because it's not a material I normally work with, I am going to be doing I'm going to be skipping the primer. It is ceramic, which does not need help taking on paint. And it doesn't have any major chips or breaks or anything, so it doesn't really need a lot of modification. And because I'm not going crazy with the colors, we don't have to worry too much with him. I'm just trying to get this nice and light in the blue. And if a little bit of the brown shows through the blue, that's not a terrible thing. I'm just trying to get a nice, pretty baby blue going. So that's kind of where I'm looking to be. It's just the absolute cutest little thing. And I think the little bits of brown peeking through the blue will be absolutely perfect. I do want to get just a little of this paint off my brush, though. And as you can tell, my birds have all of the opinions today. They have been just chattering at one another pretty much non-stop since about 7 this morning. So that's always fun. My house is not quiet, but it's also not boring. So, I mean, I'll take it. And I did very carefully give this a good cleaning earlier. So I think I'm really going to like the way this is going to come through. I don't know if we'll end up going back over and doing a second coat, or if we're going to let the brown just kind of peek through. So I don't think layers of color is such a terrible thing. He's such a cute little thing. And a teddy bear holding a teddy bear is just absolutely adorable, in my opinion at least. And it sounds like Loki has joined into the bickering with the birds, which is always fun. He doesn't normally mind the birds, but he does get a little aggravated sometimes when they start getting a little too noisy. You just kind of get to where you get very used to the level of noise. Birds are not a pet for everyone. They almost don't qualify as a pet, in my opinion, because they are so ridiculously intelligent. You have to get them on a schedule, almost like children. Like, we have bedtimes and things like that in this house. That is a little ridiculous, but hey. I'm just trying to darken this arm up a little tiny bit. I'm not very accustomed to working with ceramic, so I'm not really 100% certain how this is going to end up, or how many coats anything's going to need. But it's going to be worth it, I think, in the end. If she needs a few different coats, then she needs a few different coats. If I'm happy with the way it looks after one coat, then we'll move on to the next. I'm definitely happy with my choice of blue. I think that's going to come out really nicely. There we go. It's definitely bringing the life into it a little, isn't it? Just brightening it up and making it a little bit more new looking. I'm always happy to do the rare project that's not really in bad shape. I'm just personalizing it a bit. And this little one definitely seems to respond well to blues and pinks together, so. And this is something that, even as she grows, she'll always have some little thing that her gran made for her, or did for her when she was a little bitty. So. those special little things definitely make a difference. I remember when I was little, my grandmother used to actually make teddy bears. Well, one of my grandmothers. I had this giant teddy bear that I absolutely loved. So we've got the front. Oh, let's do this little paw here. And I think we're going to get just little snippets of music every so often as I move them now. Would you stop turning on me? Unless you want to turn just right. Well, this could be convenient. Nope, not quite enough, but hey. I think that blue is really going to just be amazing as it dries. I had originally intended to do this in all shades of pink, but as I've watched her and as I've picked things up for her and seen my daughter pick things up for her, she really does seem to respond well to blue, which is what made me decide to do the bigger bear in the blue tone. So my hope is that this will actually be something that can give my daughter breaks every so often when she just needs to distract the baby. Because if you've ever had babies, you know every little thing that can be used to just distract for a few minutes so you can just catch a break for a second can be quite huge. There we go. So I'm not going to be able to do content tomorrow or Thursday. I am working an odd couple of days, and I'm just not going to have time. But I will be on Friday and Saturday instead, because I am covering a couple of shifts over the next 2 days. I try not to try and force when I need to work. I don't want to be focused on trying to get this content out and it be forced and rushed. Thus far, as much as I enjoy this, it is not something that I can quit my job for, so. Which, if you decide you're going to be a content creator of any sort, you should always keep your job until you actually get monetized, because it's not an instant thing. I have been working at this for a little over a year, and I'm not quite halfway there. Now, obviously, if I was in a little bit of a more popular niche, I would have probably moved faster. But I'm not looking to read Reddit stories and I'm not that good with makeup, and I don't have the patience for video games. So this is where I live, and if I get monetized, awesome. I will use that more than likely just to buy more supplies and more pieces. If I don't, we'll keep going and having fun with it. I'm not really that fussed. So we have a good start. I think, oh, I missed a toe here. I'm just kind of brightening up a few spots here. Don't know why, that one little spot just doesn't seem to want to take the paint. There we go. Now we're starting to get somewhere. So now we have definitely a little bit more life in Little Bear here. And what I'm going to do is actually a little hint of sending blue paint splattering all over myself. This is going to be less of a mix a whole color and more of a just do a little bit here, and we're going to come in and just do the pads. I hadn't decided really up until this moment if I was going to do his pads pink or her pads pink or blue. But I think I decided on blue. And I don't regret it. Not in the least. I think the shades of blue will just make the pink bow and ruffle pop that much more. There we go. So, I absolutely love that. I think it's absolutely adorable. Let's go ahead and do one more thing, though. I'm just coming in here one more time because this belly is going to drive me bonkers if it doesn't start taking some paint. Ooh. I think we're just going to have to recover that once it's had a chance to dry a little bit. So I am going to borrow one of my old plates here. And When I say bright pink for the bows and stuff, I do mean quite bright. Just making sure I got all of the blue out of the brush because we're not looking to do that. Now this will probably take 2 to 3 coats to get it nice and bright. But it is a nice cheerful pink. Now I am well aware I could have primered over this and wouldn't be dealing with the old colors showing through. But I actually kind of want just little tiny hints of those old colors showing through because I think it just will add a little bit more character to the piece. It may not make a lot of sense, but trust the process. It takes a while sometimes when you're looking at a project like this to get a really good picture in your mind. But once you do, it's definitely a lot of fun finding the right ways to make that come through. And if it looks like it's got just a little bit of age, I'm kind of okay with that. Just simply put, I don't, as I said before, know how old this thing actually is. If I had to guess, it looks like some of the stuff that was popular when I was a kid in the 80s. It could be older than that, it could be newer than that. Most of the good information has been worn off of it. So we're just kind of guessing. If you guys feel like searching and seeing if you can find what she is and when she was from, I would absolutely 100% love to see it. I just think it's the cutest little piece, and I look forward to being able to see it in my granddaughter's room. My son-in-law is military, so there's a very good chance that she'll end up moving around a bit as a kid. And having little pieces of, her family back here is never a bad thing. I know I get a lot of funny looks from people who say I am perfectly fine and happy with my daughter having married a military man, but honestly, this young man has done so much for her and has gotten her in such a good place emotionally and mentally that I'm not going to judge anything about what they're doing, because they seem to be actually doing really well and thriving, which is all really any mother wants for their child. So, there we go. We're starting to look kind of like I had in mind. And now, what we're going to do... Oh, I almost forgot her little tassels. That would have stunk. We don't want to forget those, do we? Excuse me. There we go. Always got to make sure my white is nice and shook up. Well, any paint, you should always make sure it's nice and shook up before you use it. And I'm not worried about taking away that particular pink because it is straight out of the bottle. It's something that is a rare thing for me where I did not mix my own color. So as I go in for touch-ups, I can just pour a little bit more out of the bottle. Now the teddy bear, Teddy's teddy bear, I guess, the little teddy bear shouldn't take more than one coat because he is already white. I think a teddy bear holding a teddy bear is the cutest thing ever, by the way. I am a sap like that, though. And there's where I was saying with the very, very soft pink. Doesn't need to be bright and harsh. I am going to pull around just a little bit here. And I am going to go back over the eyes with the blue, or with the black, on both of them. I don't know if I'll get to that today. We're already, wow, almost to 30 minutes. So we're probably just going to go ahead and get this little gentleman done and call it a day. So I do need to cool it back off in here and get Deimos settled before the weather hits. But I guess it wouldn't take me too long to go ahead and do the couple of spots of black, would it? And I was really planning on doing blue details on the little bear, but I think what we're going to do is just darken this pink up a teeny tiny bit and kind of match it the same way I did there. And I think I'm going to just do that just to soften that belly a little bit. We do need to do the back of little one's head. And yes, a little booty here. Can't be forgetting those spots, can I? Would you come out? Gotta love when your paint just decides to say no. Right? Go. So we're getting there. And I may do one last thing real quick before I call it a day. Rinse my brush out for 2 seconds. Wipe it down. I just want to come in and touch up some of these spots real quick. I want a little bit of variation in the paint, but not so much in some of these spots. Like that belly was just so brown. Now, I'm going to get one of my little brushes and just a teeny tiny little bit of black paint. And we're going to come in here. A little hair hanging, there we go. Get those eyes nice and clear again. There we go. So I may come back and touch a couple of spots up, but I am actually really happy with how this turned out so far. I'm not going to do another full video on it, but if I do come out and do some touch-ups, I will at least post a quick short just showing the differences. But until then, here he is. Or she is. And I'm going to end here, and I will talk to you guys next time.